So you did come. Good. I'm not partial to working with those given to second thoughts. It seems we arrive on a desolate scene. I don't know what transpired, but whatever it was killed the refugees to a person. As an Arbiter, I bear a strong stomach. But if you've any reservations about witnessing destruction visited upon the innocent, you'd best steel yourself. I've some theories on the refugees' killers, but I remain unsatisfied. Although I am not required to do so as an Arbiter, I would care to acquire proof. We operate under the Sovereign's indefatigable will. Thus, we do not need proof. But my training was somewhat unique in that it emphasized the value of thorough investigation. Let us comb the remnants of this charnel house. Shame about all this blood. I just polished these boots. I cannot help but feel a pang for these people, cut down without a hope of defense. We must uncover what transpired here. You've been busy. What did you find? I doubt it factored in their inadequacy in the face of a superior force, assuming there was a superior force. The distinct lack of automechanical corpses around us supports your point. It seems the defenders did not defend. Did you have anything else? Very well. I shall continue to search on my own. Could have been saved if they simply hadn't deviated from the paradigm. life was this, without the Sovereign's guidance? Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? Inform me. That auto-mechanicals would fall in the camp's defense is logical. That there would only be one is not. Did you notice anything interesting about it? Then it was fighting blind. Doesn't seem like something a defensive automech should be doing. Did you have anything else? Very well. I shall continue to search on my own. Salutations. Has your search uncovered anything of remark? Let's hear it. Oh? I wouldn't expect a localized transmitter to harbor anything of note. Prove me wrong. I don't believe I would have learned that on my own. Seems I underestimated you. That's exceedingly useful. Did you have anything else? You're certain you've combed the place to your liking? Then let us debrief and see if we can't deduce what transpired here. Have you any theories as to what killed these people? Although I'm no ballistics expert, the death wounds on the corpses appear to match those inflicted by an automech. Have any theories about the automechs that did this? My thoughts exactly. How do you believe they were compromised? It seems so simple, and yet it also appears to be the most probable outcome. I agree. The only remaining puzzle piece is why. Why go through all this trouble to eliminate a handful of isolated refugees? Yes, that relay tower in the rear of the camp was clearly not built by the refugees, but stolen from the Protectorate, which likely means that they were Protectorate as well. The refugees must have used it to listen in on Protectorate communications, then sold what they learned to Sub Rosa. After the Vox Relay's recent destruction, High Command would have ordered a security sweep of all communication systems. This outpost's relay would have returned a signal. Upon learning of this camp's existence, they'd have dispatched a sentinel to cross off any would-be traitors. Hence the destruction we bear witness to. I do pride myself on my thoroughness indeed, though not all arbiters feel the need to be equally thorough. Now with that finished, Hold. Some things approach. Be ready. I suspect someone has disapproved of our inquiry.
You go on, and I'll take care of it, Commander.
Bent on eliminating any stragglers. Go on!
mission for you.
Look sharp. It's a fight. This might sting.
That was a hardy engagement. You held your own admirably. These automechs will never be used to succeed attacks again. I believe we're at the end of our investigation. The prospect of sharing our findings with the broker isn't terribly appealing, but we've little choice. I will locate my wretched Sub Rosa transport and return to Free Market Station. Pleasure fighting beside you. Be sure you return to Free Market Station to debrief with me. Despite our work here, I somehow doubt the broker would grant an audience to me alone.
How are the informant lines treating you? Hear anything good?
Hey, you there! If you're interested in furthering the cause of history, come speak with Greetings. Are you perhaps interested in advancing the knowledge of Arcadia's history through scientific exploration? What am I saying? Of course you are. Please, do tell me anything you might know about the crash of the ACS Free Market. Do pardon my forwardness. I saw that you were a new arrival, but I held out some hope that you might be able to enlighten me where the station populace has not. As an archivist, it's my duty to collect and record hitherto unrecorded knowledge wherever it can be found. But my earnest questions have been met with suspicion. You're correct. Unfortunately, I'll take that question to mean that I can't interview you for more information. Fiddlesticks. If some independent preservationist would be willing to assist me in discovering the truth, I certainly would appreciate it. That's great. I can offer you a stipend from my exploratory budget for anything you might manage to discover. Converse with the locals, peer into unturned corners, and see what your able hand might unearth. I look forward to furthering the cause of history with you. I'd ask about in the saloon and the bazaar. Both are places where gossip flies about like so many tarot rays. Sub Rosa likely has some information about the crash, but I'm not sure where. You also might be able to find some intact portion of the ship amidst all of the station's wreckage. Take a look around. I'm sure you'll be able to get farther on your own.
Blades, bludgeons, bombs.
Calling all former
Blunderbuss.
protectors. Well now, you have an ineffable air of intrigue about you. Weren't raised protectorate, were you? Who are you? I probably should know what that is, but I don't. Sounds real legitimate though. Sorry, I'm Millie Mealing. I started a training group here to help ex-protectorate subjects adjust to having to care for and, well, think for themselves. We also try to reconnect them with loved ones. Know the concept of community can be alien to most, but we occasionally enlist aid from wayfaring travelers like yourself. Try to, that is. Not officially. Not yet, that is. We discussed a few, like first steps or community for community. The Group Betterment Alliance was another. Somebody suggested the unparadigmatic, but that sounded rather like the Order to me. Like you need to think about it a while, then it still doesn't make much sense. Someone proposed the Awful Freedom Association, which prompted a spontaneous collegial embrace around them from all of us. This isn't easy on everybody, you know? That's kind of clever. Next time the group meets, I'll propose it. Now, as I was saying, sometimes we do need a little assistance. Involves the mental refreshment facility on Praetor. Not sure what you know about the process, but we were told all our lives to volunteer others for treatment was a blessing. To replenish someone's zeal and ensure our perfect society ran perfectly. What they didn't tell us was the person who comes back weren't always the same. Wish we had. They never said. You weren't meant to ask neither. My father, he liked to alter official protectorate songs to make them about his favorite pitchball club. Wasn't expressly prohibited, but it was different. Didn't learn about all their lies till later. Took our settlement being deemed a recreant locality for most of us to leave. One morning, we were all marked for death because Auntie's Choice had seized a grain silo on the edge of town. They expected us to die in its defense. Most of us have similar stories. None are quite used to fending for ourselves. Things like bargaining, manual labor, asking questions. Sugar. Have each other, though. I'd rather not say, if it's all the same to you. Guess my guilt must be visible from space. Yes. Before I came here, before I learned the truth about mental refreshment, I was the one. I reported my father like a good protectorate subject. Good. If you make it past the guards outside, you could maybe present yourself at the front desk as a walk-in, a subject voluntarily turning themselves in for mental refreshment. Look for my father inside. Name's Waylon. Waylon Mealing. Might have to convince him to go, depending... Don't want to think about what he's been through. Hope he's all right. We'll post someone out back to wait for him, where the guards don't patrol. Meet me here afterward. I can't tell you how much this means to me. Do mind how you go.
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to not a weapons
Pardon
store.
our noise. My compatriot and I are always trying to identify those who are suffering with us.
My boy had lost all his...
My contraptions don't
Listen, I know I shouldn't warn you about this, but anything I sell you runs the risk of exploding. I trust you'll appreciate my forthrightness and be all the more willing to buy from me. No. Ships decidedly ain't in my purview. You sure I can't interest you in some bric-a-brac instead of this conversation? You can tell? Damnation. Sounds like you know what it's like working with technology. Maybe I can confide in you. Before it crashed, I served on the free market as a secondary engineer, first grade. Had a colleague who was very talented, but not very good at hiding it. Supervisor saw her as a threat and demoted her to the engine room. She wasn't the type to take a blow without dodging. In Auntie's Choice, there's politics among waste technicians. My colleague sabotaged the engines when her partner was on his mandated 2-minute break. When the free market attempted to breach orbit, well, just about everyone died. I made it to an escape pod on the port side. The ship landed on its starboard. I got lucky. Yeah, me too. Anyway, can we get back to subjects that aren't this? I got goods to sell. Well, none taken. I never intended to be. But when life breaks your jaw and shoots out your knees, may as well learn to get good at crawling, right? Be happy to show you. Anybody even listening to this? Let me tell you stuff.
Shop here to acquire fine food. Welcome to our stall. We hope this is the first meal you ever have in your life. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Negative. This unit and stall are registered to Gerald T. Wenrich. Mr. Wenrich last visited 222 days ago. When last seen, Mr. Wenrich mentioned he was, quote, going to teach those, redacted, sub rosa, redacted, a lesson. Nobody extorts Gerald T. Wenrich. All wares were at some point cooked fresh. Error. Road sales grandstanding not found.
You need coveralls, we got coveralls. Auntie's Choice thanks you for... never mind that. Sorry. Force of habit. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I can provide. Used to be part of Auntie's Choice. Nothing special, just a pilot for light cargo vessels. Had a lot of time to think with just the void for company. Eventually decided I was sick of being overworked and underpaid and made off with my cargo. Turned out to be generic clothes, work gear, and such. More of a market for it out here than I would have guessed. I've bolstered my wares since. You should give them a look. I got rags, fineries, and everything in between.
Stimulants, medicament. If you're here about a toothache, you've come to the right place. If you're here bleeding from a dozen bullet wounds, I suppose I can help with that too. If you've wounds that need stitching or teeth that need scrutiny, I'm your doctor. Yes? Is this a problem? I'm the only doctor on Free Market Station. I think that excuses whatever quirks I may or may not have. My prior faction demanded I strictly adhere to my vocation and forego the world of dentistry, under penalty of death after a certain number of infractions. Suffice it to say, I'm pleased Free Market Station allows me to be myself. Medicaments and more, all sufficiently regulated, or thereabouts. Doctor here. Get your stitches.
If you lost it, I'm selling it. I feel I should address any allegations you may have heard regarding bloodstains on my inventory. Just means it's been well loved. Tell me what you need. Only thing to tell me what you need. Booming now. As it happened, it sure was a convenient windfall for yours truly. Exactly. I wish some other sorts around here who like to cast aspersions were as understanding as you.
Salutations once more.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison? Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Supposedly, she's willing to sell some of her collection if you impress her. Laws.
The encampment had been razed. I'm sorry to say there were no survivors, but I believe we were able to uncover what transpired. I should add, your observations during the investigation were unexpectedly keen. Working beside you was a pleasure.
I'm surprised. Didn't know if you had it in you, especially with an arbiter in tow. But you got what was needed. Not bad at all. I'd be happy to direct you to the broker. First, though, we've got a small issue. There's a malfunctioning lamp in the basement I need someone to take a look at. Here's a keycard to get you down there. You mind? Just trust me and go give it a look.
Anyone had asked me, I'd have put the odds of a live arbiter finding his way into my chambers at 1 in a few trillion. Good that you didn't come here for blood, Arbiter Rao. Barney would have sniffed it out and broken you in twain. And I do disdain mopping up Protectorate corpses. My apologies. Barney is sometimes overzealous in the guarding of my body. Though, when it comes to Protectorate arbiters, it is perhaps warranted.
If you know who I am, you must know why I'm here. My mentor died under vague circumstances, and I desire any information pertaining to the specifics of her death.
Interesting. That question appears to be at odds with High Command's public statement on the matter. Losing faith in your masters?
No. But I cannot shake the sensation that something was awry with her passing. If you know something, tell me. Please.
I could get used to this kind of groveling. Your instincts are right, Arbiter. Though we don't know the specifics, I received information that your mentor's body bore signs of a fight, and a nasty one. Someone killed her.
I shall in time, when fewer prying ears abound.
If that's all, I think you'd best get along. I prefer not to sully my quarters with Protectorate lackeys. Live ones, anyhow.
And I prefer to limit my time with scheming blackguards. Let us take our leave from present company. Speak to me outside, if you would. There's something I'd care to ask you.
Run along now. I've spent more than enough time entertaining wayward sprats.
Yeah, how about this? I recruited a Protectorate subject directly from Bastion, middle of a Protectorate holding.
Think I'll congratulate you for risking your hide to recruit one subject? Forgive me for withholding my applause.
You're jealous of my charms.
Yeah, real jealous. So are the half-dozen ACAD execs I recruited last week. We're all just...
Come now, Prospero, you've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. You've identified me properly. But information transference is the lifeblood of Free Market Station. And if you want a transfusion, you'll have to grant me a spot of help. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. Normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The Automech chef in the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg-aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces.
sniffing, sniveling servant. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, Iceberg Aged Whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Paulo. Current customer is not Prospero Paulo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Scanning error. Cannot ascertain identity of current customer. Purging all vending restrictions. Eliminating one restriction. Vending Iceberg Aged Whiskey complete. Thank you for your patronage. Meals currently sold with no salt and pepper.
As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not, in fact, help one not be nervous. My friend. Excellent. Thank you. Very well. You wish to know about the crash, yes? Are you prepared for a sordid tale of drama and woe? Everyone knows that the Free Market's captain was a hopeless romantic, especially disposed to giving too much of her heart to those inclined to break it. The final betrayal came from a dashing rogue smuggler who vanished with most of her bits. The good captain had about all she could endure. Indeed she did. The crew attempted to wrest the controls from her to save them from their fate, but alas, too late. That's all I know. I thank you for your help once again, and now I must get ready for my set.
The role of the Arbiter typically does not require the assistance of others. We are expected to act as wholly independent entities. But I fully realize that had I not your aid today, my investigation's progress would have stalled and withered. During our investigation, I gauged your trustworthiness and did not find it wanting. What say we travel together? I will keep to my convictions in any case, but I understand. What instructions would you have me follow? Ah, I should have considered this eventuality. I will listen to your words, and I shall follow your orders. I will not assail enemies of the Protectorate without your consent, though I will not like it. But if my sense of duty outpaces my willingness to comply with an order, or if you attack my brethren unprovoked, our relationship will come to an abrupt end. Excellent. I hope our working relationship is most fruitful. I'm sure we shall discover much together.
Won't argue he seems capable, but let's be mindful where his true allegiance lies.
But I was hoping to peruse the shopkeeper's wares to see what they had with sharp, barbed, or serrated edges. We're all three. Fine, I'm going.
Let us be off, Commander. Ah!
it's you. Did you ever find Augustine? I see. Do you know where she is now? She did come here. I'm unsure how she found me. She just looked at me for a long time, then told me about what happened to Victor. Said she was sorry about that, then she thanked me and left. And that was that. I don't fancy speaking on it. Not that there's anything more to say. Well, before the Consul took over, my biggest problem there was avoiding Auntie's choice workers trying to sell me things. Or get me to move to Fairfield. It was easier to avoid any random Protectorate patrols than to convince those charlatans I didn't want what they were selling. But after what happened to the Sovereign, I became frightened. Too frightened. I had to get away from there. I started working for Sub Rosa, as unbelievable as that is. Even to me. Seemed my best chance to stay alive, have a place to live, people to talk to.
You just bought a shooter from Not a Weapon, part of our crew. That makes you a friend.
Greetings. How has the data collection fared? That's hardly surprising, considering the station's predilection for gossip. So long as you provide us the information, we can parse through it and decide fact from fiction. Are you prepared to present what you have learned? Finally, a breakthrough. Let's hear it. How did the ACS free market meet its end? So their highest-ranking troops can't even put aside personal issues for the collective. That can't be healthy. Aside from the crash, what occurred in the ship's final moments? An incompetent captain and an incompetent crew. Tisk tisk. Last question. Were there any contributing factors to the crash? Anything that might recontextualize what actually happened? Failing to recognize ability? Seems Auntie's choice is forgetting where upward enters into the phrase upward mobility. Thanks to you, my report is complete. Here, something for your considerable help. Auntie's choice seems to be inundated with its own problems, technical and personnel alike. We should have ample opportunity to use this for propaganda purposes. I am. If Free Market Station survives the war, this will be a very important historical account. But if the Order fails in Arcadia, none of that will matter. I'm just making the most of what you gave me. Oh, I'd be happy to. Anyone willing to further the Order's aims should be treated as a friend, in my mind. Now I need to get this report to my superiors. Thanks again.
Latest contraband came in. Looks like quite the haul.